Alright, Nick here at the Real Guy Garage. So today presented itself with a perfect opportunity. This, of course, is my 1944 Ford 2N tractor, lovingly known as the Mutt. And it presented me with a perfect opportunity today when it wouldn't start. So it gives me a chance to go over a few things that you can check if for whatever reason your tractor breaks down in the field, so that you can at least sort of pinpoint where your problem is. So first things first, we're going to cover where a few things are. So depending on the setup of the ignition on yours, you should have a key or a switch, and that's of course going to put the power on to your coil. So what's going to happen is when you turn that key on, which you'll see the keys down here, it's going to come over, you'll see the resistor over here. Yours may or may not have this if it's converted to 12 volt. But what's going to happen is the power comes from the battery to one side of your ignition switch, and then when the key's on, it goes through the switch into your relay here, and then from here it's distributed, so it's going to come around. You see this wire here comes up to this coil to reduce the amperage before it goes to the coil. You probably won't have the resistor up here if you have a 12 volt coil, but you might still. So it's going to go through there into this white wire. The white wire is going to go down, cross around, and on a front distributor setup, it's going to come down, and as you can see, let me just move this out of the way, it goes down to our coil. So the quickest and easiest way to check that is with a test light. So with our key on and our test light grounded, we're going to come down here, and yeah, we have power to the coil. Oops. Sorry, it's hard to hold it and film it and everything, but we have power to the coil. So what we've just done is we've eliminated everything from the battery to the coil. We know that everything from there to there is working properly now. So next thing we're going to need is an old spark plug. Okay, so I grabbed an old plug, and I'm going to ground it to the cylinder head. And then what we're going to do is, and I apologize, I'm trying to figure out how to hold this and do this myself. But what you're going to want to do is see if you have a spark there, essentially. So I'm going to see if I can... Alright. Okay, so you saw we have spark there. That eliminates the ignition system. So the next thing I did here was, and this is a quick and easy way to eliminate whether you have a carburetor issue, I went ahead and I loosened off the bottom of my fuel bowl here, dumped it out, and now we'll see how much flow we have coming from the tank. So 2 turns should be enough to fill that bowl. And as you can see, it's not. So in my case, the reason my tractor won't start is it's out of gas. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to put some gas in it and show you what you would check next to eliminate everything from the tank to the carburetor. Okay, so I've thrown 5 gallons of go juice in the tractor here. So now when I open up my valve here, you should be able to see, yep, that's only about half a turn and it's already filling the fuel bowl up. So let's pretend like this isn't our problem. Okie dokie. So now our fuel's coming around. It's going to go through the fuel line. And I'm going to move the end of that so it's out of the way here. So it's going to come down. It's going to go through the elbow and into the carburetor. And it's going to fill it up because the float's going to be down in the bottom of the bowl here. So it's going to hold the needle open, and then when the float comes up, it's going to push the needle up and stopped the flow of gas. So now there's fuel inside the bowl of the carburetor. So let's assume that that's not your problem. What's going to happen? Well, on the bottom of these Marvel carbs, there's a drain. So if you want to see if you're getting adequate fuel flow to pinpoint it to a carburetor issue itself, you're going to take a pint jar or any small jar, and the flow you should get when you pull that drain out and your valve is open is 1 pint per minute. So it should fill in a minute a pint jar. So if it doesn't do that, then you have an issue either with the gasoline flow coming through the fuel line, which you can check that by pulling the line off the carburetor and again seeing how much gas you're getting per minute, or you have an issue with the float in the carburetor or the needle. Now in the past, on this exact carburetor on this tractor, I've had the needle stick inside the seat, so it wasn't letting any fuel into the carburetor, so the tractor was starved for fuel and wouldn't start. But I since replaced that. So we have spark and we have fuel, which means you have to forgive me for a second here, because I am going to have to put the camera down because I do not have enough hands to be able to do this solo. Alright, pull my choke out. And we're back in business.